I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all night through. In the small cafe, the bar across the way, the children's carousel, the chestnut tree, the wishing well. I'll be seeing you in everything that's bright and gay, and always think of you that way. I always think of you that way. You'll find me in the morning sun, and when the moon is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. Everything that's bright and gay, always think of you that way. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, when the night is blue. I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you in the choir. I will be seeing you. Thank you. Sound all right? Too loud? Too soft? Never mind about my mistakes. Too loud? Too soft? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year, first of all, and welcome to our celebration of wonderful musicianship. I'd like to introduce you now to, I'm not going to say too much, I'm not, but I'll just tell a little bit about them. These are two of the finest musicians, three of the finest musicians you're ever likely to hear and see. Trevor Rippingale, Colin Jones, and the wonderful Rick Best, accompanied of course by Rod Ford on drums and John Conley there on bass. Trevor and Cole worked together in Sydney in the late 50s, and then Trevor moved to Queensland, and they've been seeing each other and playing together for a long time, ever since. They play together most Saturdays at South Creed Sports Club, which Leslie Rose, my darling over there, she runs all that. Jazz Day, Saturday afternoons, which is always wonderful. And Rick plays there too, incidentally. And they've also enjoyed a 3-year stint quite recently, up until the dreaded COVID struck, at Twin Towns with Owen, my beloved Owen down there, with the Goodman Swings Again band. which featured Trevor and Colin, John Edwards on bass, who's not here today, Harry Lynn on keyboards, myself and Leslie as band singers, which we love, and a monthly guest every so often. So, now, that's enough. Actually, that's enough for me. So, I'll pop in later and tell you a bit more, but meanwhile, please would you give a digger's welcome to the terrifically talented Trevor Rippingale. You can do better than that. You can. The exquisitely accomplished Colin Jones. Yes, Rachel, okay. And a virtuoso of the keyboard, and the awe-inspiringly magnificent Rick Best. Please, boys, I'll leave it up to you. It's enough from me.
Thank you very much for your kind applause, appreciation of the music of Count Basie. And there's my selection. I had another one coming up now, and this is yet another Basie. Eddie Durham wrote it, who did a lot of work for Count Basie in the arranging section. And this is called Topsy.
was there. And thank you, Fraser, for asking us to come along this afternoon and play with you. And Colin and I, as you heard from Kathy, we last played together in Sydney at the Trocadero in about 1958, I think it was, the late 50s. Yeah. So we went again up here, and the swing era was a wonderful period, the 1930s and 40s through the early 50s. And Benny Goodman is the man who's credited with making it a worldwide wonderful music. So we're going to do a couple of Benny Goodman type tunes. We get nowhere near his standard, unfortunately, of course, but anyway, we try. And this first tune is a bit of a vocal too. Goodman recorded a tune called I'd Do Anything, or I'd Do Almost Anything for You. So here it is in 1946, late in the swing era. He recorded it with his full big band, not as a vocal, but we're going to do a vocal anyway, just for a bit of variety. cross that great divide. I would do most anything for you. I'd even take a little trip to Mars. Just stand there and count the stars. I'd do almost anything for you. I'd even pay a fortune just to see you smile. If you say you love me, my heart is ecstasy. As long as you have faith in me, I would do most anything for. I would do most anything for. I'd do all for you. Yeah. Not bad for 1946, was it? The great Benny Goodman band. Another one of Goodman's famous tunes, played with his quartet and quintet with the great Lionel Hampton on vibes, and Gene Krupa on the drums. Remember these names? Gene Krupa, Lionel Hampton, Teddy Wilson on the piano, and our own Rick Guest on piano. Anyway, big hand for Rick. Thank you. This tune of Benny Goodman's is Moonglow. The introduction at the bottom of the page. What a world it would have been without them.
Oh. Trevor Rippingale, ladies and gentlemen. Just while they're having a breather for a minute, I thought I'd butt in, because as long as I've known you two darlings, my very dearest friends, you understand.
You're all of 5'3".
All of 5'3", who me? I don't know a lot about you. I mean, everybody in the whole world knows that Tony Bennett smiled at me once, but I don't know much about you. So what I'd like to know is, who famous have you worked with apart from us? But both of you, one at a time. Colin, you go first. Tell us who you've worked with.
Well, I don't know, it all started with Tommy Steele, I guess. He was my first tour.
Oh.
That was back in 1958, I think it was. And then prior to that, I've been working in bands alongside Trevor and at places like Vic's Cabaret and Stratfield and all the Palais. And then along came Winifred Atwell. But before that, I was doing all sorts of club work. Actually did the stadium show with Nat Cole, with Dennis Collinson, who was the conductor at the time, and all the creme de la creme of the Sydney big band fraternity there. And after Winnie, the band stayed on at Checkers. We went into Checkers as a show with Winifred Atwell. We stayed on and Winnie left for further other climbs. And we stayed on there until I joined Qantas and went overseas and stayed in London for a while. Played in a lot of county bands over there. Came back to Australia in 1984. I left Australia on St Patrick's Day 1969 and came back to Australia the day after St Patrick's Day in 1984. 2 years after that, came up to the Gold Coast, got into the Swinging Vine, bought that along with my late partner Victoria Batiste, and we ran that for a couple of years, lots of jazz, lots of comedy, and we had a hell of a time, but went broke in the process. Thanks Paul Keating for introducing me that incredible tax that just made such a disincentive to entertaining business people and all that for luncheons. So I've been around the coast now since '86, just playing here and there and everywhere, and having a bloody good time and enjoying the music we play, and we hope you enjoy it too. Thank you.
Colin James, such a shy, retiring bloke. You've done a lot there, Cole. I know. Okay, Trev, your turn. Keep it clean, keep it clean.
Thank you. Well, I'm relatively new to the coast. I've only been here 6 years and 5 months, but I'm enjoying every second of it. I'm glad we came up from Sydney. My history is really ancient history by now, and but I have had the great privilege and great pleasure of playing with some of Australia's best musicians, both here on the Gold Coast and around Australia too. I have managed to record, in fact, with Don Burrows, with where's my wife? You going to grab one?
George Goller?
Don Burrows. No, I haven't recorded with George, but I played with George Goller quite a bit. And sorry, people I played with is Don Burrows, Bob Bernard and his band, particularly in more recent days in the CD that we put out together, called a tribute to the Bobcats. And also Graham Bill, the great Graham Bill, an Australian band. Dave Dalwitz, you may know some of those early jazz experts, and I've had the great pleasure and privilege of playing with them. I've also had my own bands, one called the New Auburn Jazz Orchestra, which lasted almost 30 years, and did tours with playing at the Edinburgh Festival and at the Big Spiderbeck Memorial Jazz Festival in Davenport, Iowa. And it was a specialist band which had the great distinction of playing one night before the great Harvey Shaw, who later said some nice things to us about what the band was doing. But yes, with various bands and big bands around all states of Australia, as Colin has too, and we're glad to be here in our retirement. And you may have heard that our age is 86. We're almost twins.
That's right.
So
Would you go a long way to hear better,
Where's-
ladies and gentlemen, you really would.
we're still going to play on until we drop off the tree, don't we?
Ah, but did Tony Bennett ever smile at you? No, I bet he didn't.
No, but I'm sure it did. So and the Queen, I was in the National Service Band in 1954 when the Queen came to Australia for the first time. What a glorious couple they looked in the back of that open car. Handsome Philip and beautiful Queen Elizabeth. At the time she was a knockout. And that was great.
You're not ready for this one yet, but Cole's going to play My Walking Stick, I think.
This is one of Irving Berlin's many, many songs. He wrote about 1,600 songs to my knowledge, and this is just one of them. And Louis Armstrong did it with the Mills Brothers back in the 30s. And this is called My Walking Stick. Just a 4-bar intro like a thing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Without my walking stick, I go insane. Can't look my best, I feel undressed without my cane. Must have my walking stick. Course it may pour, and if it pours, can't be outdoors without my cane. Now if I ever left my house without my walking stick, it would just be something I could never, ever explain. The thing that makes me click on Lover's Lane would go for naught if I were caught without my cane. Now if I ever left my house without my walking stick, It would just be something I could never explain. The thing that makes me click on Lover's Lane would go for naught if I were caught without my cocaine. Without my cocaine. Without my cane. Thank you. Louis with the Mills Brothers, they did a wonderful version. And the Society Syncopators came up from Melbourne and did it once at a jazz festival here, and I heard them do it. And they did it exactly as Louis and the Mills Brothers did it, with all their wonderful barbershop harmonies, and it was just magic. This next one is yet another one of my selection from the Count Basie playbook. This is called Jive at 5. Or if you're of a military persuasion, Jive at 1700. It's all right, it's one of ours. Straight in. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Yes, we're going to change the order and we're doing something slow. And you might remember the great Fat Swallow. And he made a tune famous at the time, though he pitched it from another band leader. That band leader was anyway, the band that was the hit of the day actually made it famous before Fat Swallow, and it's called Until the Real Thing Comes Along. Play one first, then sing one.
Straight in or intro?
Andy Kirk and his 12 Clouds of Joy. Okay. This is our last tune now, and we're going to do it with Winnie Goodman's favourite called Stumbling the Savoy, and we'll hear the great trumpet of Carl Harris. Thank you.
One, two, one, two.
Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, aren't they wonderful? Yes. I didn't wear my star shirt for nothing, did I? Please could you welcome and give a big round of applause to the wonderful Trevor Rippingale on reeds, and my darling Colin Jones on trumpet, flute, thing. And thank you very much to Rick Best, my favourite keyboard player. Who's coming to join them and sit in for them. So thank you, Rick. And not forgetting those two darling little boys at the back. On sound, on vocals, on drums, Rodney Ford, ladies and gentlemen.
I just have to say one thing, if I can.
What?
Trevor, what happened to the drum solo? You said you were going to turn around and cue me for the drum solo. You didn't turn around at all only to whinge about the microphone. You know?
And John Conley, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful John Conley. Folks, as you know, it's been a wonderful celebration of jazz with these wonderful boys, but it's also a sad occasion today because we lost our dear beloved Willie Quah, as you've probably heard, and anyway, we're all very sad about that. John Conley, you're going to say a few words, aren't you, my darling? Are you going to come and join me here, or do you want to do it from the chair? Oh, would you charge your glasses, because we're going to have a little toast for Willie. Sorry, Fraser. Have a little toast for Willie, so... Fraser has glasses for us all. I've got my own with wine in it. John Conley, thanks.
Yeah, it was a very sad day yesterday when Willie left us. As you probably know, he kind of reached a stage where he didn't really want to... he'd lost the will to live, I think you could say. But I spent many years playing with Willie and having a wonderful time, both musically and in other ways, just socially. We had a terrific time. I think the world's a worse place for not having Willie in it. So how about we all charge our glasses, maybe stand up, and why don't we have a toast to Willie Quah? Thanks, folks.
Thank you, Jono. Thank you, folks. Please stay with us because there's the wonderful jam session coming up very soon. The boys are going to have a rest. Fraser will come back.